Welcome to the Scale Model Podcast. In this podcast, we aim to entertain, inform, and promote the hobby of scale model kit building with interviews, reviews, and news about the hobby. The Scale Model Podcast is currently recorded bi-weekly and is available where your favorite podcasts are found, including iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher, as well as our website at www.scalemodelpodcast.com. Let us know if you have any comments or suggestions at scalemodelpodcast@gmail.com or at our Facebook page at facebook.com/scalemodelpodcast. We also publish extra video content on our YouTube channel, and we also have a Patreon page at patreon.com/scalemodelpodcast. The money raised will be used to help offset web hosting and other costs. As the podcast grows, we hope to introduce giveaway and other bonuses to our Patreon supporters as a thank you for supporting the Scale Model Podcast. Welcome to episode 19 of the Scale Model Podcast, sponsored by Goodman Models. My name is Stuart Clark, and once again we're here with Mr. Gundam Incorporated, also supplier of batteries to his child's robotic unicorns, Mr. Anthony Goodman.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, and once again we are in the deep dark recesses in the secret vaults of Goodman Enterprises.
That's right.
400 meters underground this time. You've built a new wing.
High-level security.
High-level security, as we know, with the most fearsome guards, namely Mr. Sparkles the cat.
Yep.
So yes, we're filming here again. Welcome back. Life has gotten in the way, so we're a few days late doing this. That's because our good buddy Anthony's doing all that book learning.
Yep, yeah. I just finished up school.
And tests and all that. So he did good in his tests.
I did.
Before anyone asked, so that's good. So we're going to get right into it. So latest news: our good friends at AK Interactive have some pretty cool things again, as normal for the month. This is their April stuff. So they've got a couple of books, a couple of tools. So a book about German Panzer divisions. About the organization, stuff like that, in both English and Spanish. This is the history of the organization of the Armored Division of the German Army from its creation in 1935 until the end of the war. Again, if you're a German Armour fan, looks like a lot of historic photos.
Yeah.
A lot of good references. They talk about how they were numbered, stuff like that. So looks like a fairly good resource. 2 different languages, €59, 348 pages and hardcover.
That's not a bad price for those quality
good
reference
research,
books.
exactly.
Yeah.
And they always do a good job. And then their Aces High magazine this month, 76 pages, €9. It features French jet fighters, so Mirages and things like that. All different things. Again, as usual, they go quite into detail. The color scheme and stuff like that. I see one of the ones they feature is a Mirage, but it's actually an Israeli.
That's on the cover.
Like a Kafar,
right?
Yeah. It looks like it. They have one of the F1 in there. So again, if you're building these sort of things, some good reference work there.
Awesome.
This one here is a bit interesting. This is a wet palette. So a wet palette, this is something mostly a lot of figure painters use. I've used one before.
I like the wet palette.
Yeah, so this is for people who don't know, for you figure painters, especially ones that use acrylics. Unlike oils, they tend to dry quickly in that, and it's tougher to do a blend if you want to blend some colors. So typically a wet palette, what people used to do is they used to get like a sponge and some wet paper, and enough to keep the paint damp, basically. So it stays damp so you can blend it properly.
Yeah, it kind of preserves it from drying out for a
Extends the
longer
life,
period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So typically, as I said, there's a sponge, and this is what this one has from AKs. It's got a sponge to hold large quantities, quite a thick one, a special cloth made of fiber, and then there's a special paper, which is you actually put your paint on. And it keeps, prevents water forming in paints from dissolving, kind of keeps, hairs and that from getting on the brushes. So again, quite a neat thing. I like this one. It's watertight and airtight, so that's really
the key.
good. Yeah, unlike
you
a lot of
snap the lid
palettes,
on.
Yeah, some they're not bad, but they're always got a bit of thing in. So, particularly if you're a figure painter or you do a lot of blending, this might be something you might want to look at.
I wonder. I mean, I was using it for oil paints. Is that it's the same?
No, because again, here the idea is you're using water to keep the paint wet to extend the life, where with an oils naturally take longer.
Yeah.
So
But it's like
you could.
it's really about more the temperature, right? Keeping it
No, not
cool.
really. It's more just extending the life. Like with the acrylics, acrylics dry quick. Like unlike
Yeah.
oils, which take hours to dry.
Yeah, but once you've taken out the linseed oil, right?
Yeah. So that sort of idea. But like for this is like for particularly figure guys years ago would use it because a lot of people didn't like using oils. They prefer using the acrylics, but they dry too quick to do a proper blend.
Yeah.
So by putting this
You have
on,
to
it
use oils.
extends the drying time big time. These days, of course, they have retarder, extend dry, stuff like this. But this is still the classic way. It's also a good way if you want to blend, like mix your own on the palette.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's mostly used by figure painters, but obviously AK thinks there's a market there, just under 10 euros.
It's nice to have modeling specific tools. Like obviously I've used a homemade one for years.
And some people will, and again,
and
there'll be the usual people that'll be out there saying, "Oh, I can make this."
Make
but again,
it for 25 cents.
but for a lot of people, they just want something that works.
Yeah,
And,
I think I always feel more inspired when I have like brand tools that
and-
are just for it.
and
It's
this is
always a
nice
little better.
because it is waterproof, like it'll seal, so you can take it with you. So that's kind of cool. And again, they show some little instructions how to use it. Last but not least, looks like they're coming out with their own type of putty, green power 2 component modeling putty.
Interesting.
Yeah, so a two-part putty.
I'd give that a shot.
Yep, you mix it together. You can mold. I'm terrible with putty. I could make something, but it looked like a blob. It wouldn't look like.
Yeah.
You see these people that can make amazing like figures.
I'm really
and that out
enjoying
of it.
using the putties.
Yeah,
So
I'd
I have some of the Aves, which is amazing. So if for our listeners that haven't checked out the Aves, I believe it's called Sculpey.
Sculpey, yep.
But man, it's awesome. I bought a very small pack.
Yep.
Whipping it out just so you
I
can
have no
see it.
artistic talent for stuff like that, so.
But I use it all the time for doing crazy
exactly.
stuff.
So it's a two-part. Yep,
Yeah,
two-part. You mix it together.
And there's a smoother. That was the key thing. I bought the smoother.
Okay.
And you can use your finger after to kind of
Right.
finalize something.
Right.
So I
and
found
they say
really
that
good.
too. And they say to obtain a smoother surface, recommend to use a lubricant such as water oil.
Yeah.
Or Vaseline.
But this is like a special mixture that Epoxy Sculpt has, and then of course I have the Tamiya ones, and they're really good.
They say
and,
keep it in the fridge. Will keep better condition.
Interesting.
So yeah, so this is like definitely an epoxy putty. So this is like when you wanna make additional things or whatever. Then we have the Earth Rally set, a couple of sets there, 10 euros. So
3
Stern
colors
Earth,
in there.
Dark Earth, and Europe Earth. I guess.
Oh, sorry, that's the acrylic splatter effect, and
Yeah.
then 2 pigments.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are cool.
So again, for those things, plus they have the asphalt effects one, the snow effects one. So that's kind of cool. And then there's this one here, and I want to try one of these at some point. I was hoping one of our vendors at Heritage Con had this. This is elastic putty. It's like putty with a memory. So the idea is you can use it to mask areas.
Ah, okay.
So it's really good for camouflage. I did build a lot of World War II RAF stuff.
Yeah.
So this sort of thing's really cool.
Yeah, but
I want
it's
to at
fun.
some point play with this, and it's reusable. The big difference is a lot of people say this stuff is better than silly putty, which a lot of people use.
yeah.
You don't get the residue when you take the
Yeah,
putty
that's
off.
the problem with like the sticky tack for like putting up posters on your wall or using silly putty. It's not meant for it, and,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
you get all kinds of like grunge and
that's what
oils.
apparently this comes off a lot cleaner.
You pay a little extra, but then you're getting a better product. That's
better product,
just for exactly what we need, right?
Exactly.
And that's the key.
Yep. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks neat.
Yeah, it looks like a good thing. So again, available at your AK dealers, coming soon. Probably already out by now. Okay, let's move on. I know some people have been talking about this one, some of the armor guys. This is Tacom's new 35th scale Jagdpanther G1 Early. This has a full interior, or you can get one without an interior, and that's going to come in June, both of these.
That's a nice feature that they do, the dual
Yeah,
kits.
the full interior, that seems to be very popular. They did was it a King Tiger? Or a Tiger recently?
The King.
Was the King? Yeah, that's right.
Right? With the
So this one here, you'll have the option of doing that. It's got the Zimmerit six marking features. I don't think we've got a price on it yet. Again, the Zimmerit, looks like they've got the Zimmerit panels, and it looks pretty cool. The
Is that resin?
No, I think
or
it's
is it,
just normal plastic.
polystyrene?
Yeah, but this sculpted by Jason Wong. His work is excellent, as you can see here in the pictures and the link we give. So
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's cool. And then the no interior one will also have a little railway flat car you can put your tank on.
Oh, that's all right.
So yeah, so you'll have 6 marking point legs. There's a track making jig included. Thank God, because making tracks individually are the devil's work.
It's funny, on the kit I did, my first armor kit, I think there was some sort of jig, but I couldn't really quite figure out how it was
Yeah,
meant to be used. I kind of made my own.
It's challenging. All the armor guys right now are laughing at us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was neat. It's a Zen thing.
You use a jig that's supposed to make it easier somehow, but I didn't know what they had these weird cardboard strips. It was an Academy. It was vintage.
Okay.
So I'm sure they've come a long way, but I ended up kind of making my own, using my own like
yeah, you can do your own or whatever. Yeah,
as
exactly.
a jig.
So yeah, I'm sure I know some of the armor guys are excited about that.
Yeah,
okay, moving on
cool.
to our friends at Edward. Their May releases, a bunch of different things as always. I'm always amazed how many different things these guys come out with. It's just absolutely amazing. They publish it's almost like a monthly magazine, but it's their catalog. And it's amazing the number of different products they have.
Very cool.
So we have a 72nd scale Profi pack of a Fokker D7 from the First World War. 5 decal options, some pre-painted photo etch, plus the painting mask.
Nice.
They've got a limited edition combo of 2 BF 109s, an E and an F in 1/48 scale. These were flown in the Soviet Union, so they're featuring that. 11 decal options.
Wow.
Again, photo etch, painting mask, the sort of everything you kind of need. One stop. Even some resin parts. So it includes the seat and the undercarriage wheels are resin.
That's awesome. Instead of having to hunt down all this stuff, it's all...
Yeah, they do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Edward's really good at that. Because, again, that's what they do a lot.
I'm tired of hunting down random stuff.
Exactly. You can get it all
nice
here.
To get a kit with everything in it.
And we're just talking about the Mirage.
Yeah.
The Mirage 3. This is in the Israeli Air Force, 1/48 scale. I've always liked the Mirage. They're very attractive looking aircraft.
Shachak.
Yeah. And again...
Yeah, it's cool looking, the Delta Wing.
Very cool. The Mirages always were cool. Yeah. 5 decal options, cartograph decals, photo etch, etc. The FW190A and 148. This is their weekend edition. So the weekend editions differ because it's just the base kit. Usually a few less decal options, no photo etch, etc. The idea is in the old days you could throw it together in a weekend.
Yeah.
So 2 decal options, Edward decals, etc. So yeah, looks like some fairly attractive stuff coming out there. Yeah, so that's from Edward. Moving right along, Hasegawa, May 2019. All sorts of new stuff coming up here. So just having a quick peek at what they've got here. A lot of cars this time. They've got the Kenwood 124th Climber Porsche. They've re-released that one. The 89 Le Mans Toyota winner. Looks like a rally car, the SO Super Delta 93. If we look at some other ones, the Toyota Celica Turbo 4-wheel drive in 1993 livery. And then they've got a F-15J Eagle with some special decals. They do a lot of those. Remember we talked about the twin Henkel 111?
Yes.
Yeah, so they've got that one mentioned there. A couple more of their eggplanes, F4s. So yeah, quite a few re-release stuff. So as you go down there, the other one I find interesting, they've reissued the 1/16 softwoods camel. I remember this years ago. It was, and that's shipping the end of May. 1/16 scale. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
And you could build it and this was different because it was just the ribbing. It didn't have the, it was like the wood frame. If you click in on it, you'll see.
Yep.
So it doesn't have it's strictly just
like an interior.
The interior one, yeah.
Model,
in
right?
a structural mode, as they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was always kind of neat. I remember that years ago.
So that's quite a vintage kit? Or
it's an older kit, yeah. I don't remember how old, but they've re-released it again. So, yeah. Kind of neat.
Yeah, it's something different, right?
Yeah, it was something different. Again, this was way out before Wingnut and all that. So, yeah, definitely something kind of cool.
I wonder how many people have attempted to skin it.
I wouldn't be surprised. Probably people have.
To make it exactly the real
or
thing.
Or half and half
down.
or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Tamiya. Not a lot from May coming new. A lot on their RC side. They do have the 1/35th scale British tank destroyer, the M10. The 2C Achilles, that's apparently a new release. I've heard some people talking about that. So that was basically the British version of the M10, but it had a 17-pounder gun fitted. So yeah, looks kind of cool. Includes a couple of figures as well. a motorcycle, the 112 Honda Monkey 125cc, a 124 Toyota Hybrid. I think we've talked about that one before, so it's finally been released. The other thing I wanted to mention is there's 3 more additions to their lacquer color range. So they're up to 66 now. So there's the olive drab Japanese self-defense force, a rubber black, and a flat finish. So they're really almost up to the same as the acrylics. So
I have not tried that yet, but
I haven't. I know some people who have, and they're very impressed with it.
Yeah.
One of the things people love about it, as I said before, they match the spray bomb colors, the spray can colors.
Oh, okay.
Now,
That's nice.
where in the past they didn't. The other stuff's kind of new there is just some airbrush hose connectors. And yeah, like an RC amphibious vehicle set for people who are into the RC stuff. So.
Oh yeah, it's kind of a build your own.
Yeah, build your own.
They're
They're really big at that over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's mainly the 3 new colors in their lacquer line.
Yeah,
So
those are
obviously,
good colors too. Rubber black is a key.
yeah, obviously they're doing well sales wise, and they're happy with it.
Yeah.
Because again, they're up to 66 now, and which is it's getting close to the other ones.
They only came out a year ago, so they're really
not long
they're
ago.
flying along.
Yeah, it's so obviously it's popular. Again, I don't mind the acrylics. I'm fine with that. I'm happy.
Yeah, I've never had a
but
problem with
I know people who prefer using lacquers, and apparently they've been very popular. I know in our own group we've had a few of the guys are using it, and they've been very they've been very, very pleased with the performance of it, and it's available at most of your hobby stores, so it's easy to find. Okay, Hobby Boss out of China, a couple of new things there from May. The Japanese T4 Trainer in 1/72nd scale. They're releasing a 1/32nd scale B24 Liberator, the D model, and some Panzer crews. So they got an SBG crew, a topical Panzer crew, and an infantry set. So not a lot from them this month, but again, a few things might be interested. Okay, Trumpeter. It's pretty well the same company, Hobby Boss Trumpeter.
Yeah.
They come out of one door. They've got a Panther G in the big 1/16th version, so that's going to be a big cat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people like building in that scale. The G is a very popular scheme. They've also got a Soviet combat vehicle, looks like the 96K6 Panzer. Looks like it's an anti-air configuration. A couple more of the Big Sam things. The Russian S300V. Now that you could have a lot of fun with for like a sci-fi diorama.
Yeah.
With the way the two Sam things stick up there.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Again, there's some possibilities there. They've also got the UK Type 23 frigate in 1/700th. The Sukhoi, the Tupolev 22K binder in 1/72nd. And here's an interesting one. And again, I don't know if this is a Reebok. This is the Avro Vulcan in 1/144 scale. I know a lot of UK aircraft modelers keep petitioning Airfix to re-release their Vulcan.
Yeah, it's like well out of print, right?
Yeah, it's an old kit.
Or was there a 72nd, or was it always?
Oh yeah, there's always been a 72nd. A couple of people made them.
Yeah.
Airfix has one, but it's very long in the tooth. So it's interesting that.
I was wondering, is this they just get it to get the molds from Airfix, or is this?
I don't know. I haven't had time to look up, but this is 1/144, so this wouldn't be an Airfix mold.
Oh, okay.
And there has been other ones before, but again, the Vulcan's always a popular subject.
Yeah.
Every time Airfix releases their new catalog for the year, the people that start to complain because how come there's no Vulcan? It's a popular plane.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Did you watch the what's that fellow's name who does all the little airplane restoration projects and has a video? He did one on the Vulcan.
Oh, did he? Okay.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, we'll look it up later.
It was very interesting. So I didn't know much about it.
Fascinating aircraft. We used to see them here in London for the air show.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And the Vulcan was the one that during the Falklands War it did the longest. It did the longest bombing mission ever. So they did a mission where they had to bomb
Falklands, right?
Yeah, in the Falklands War. So they had to bomb Stanley Airfield, but they had to refuel like a dozen times. So you had tankers refueling tankers, which would then refuel the Vulcan, and they weren't sure if they were going to make it back. It's a fascinating story about this aircraft. Again, it was originally designed as a nuclear bomber.
Yes.
Way back in the 50s. Cold War era, but then it became conventional, and that was its last main flight. And the last flying one, they've only recently retired it because it's worn out. Like a private foundation bought it, they could fly it for a couple of years.
Okay, the show I was thinking of was Guy Martin.
Guy Martin,
The last flight of the Vulcan bomber.
Yes,
So it was quite interesting.
So Guy Martin,
Yeah.
see, he's actually a motorcycle guy.
Okay.
He's a Formula One motorcycle racer.
Right.
So he's one of these crazy guys that go to the Isle of Man, the TT.
Yeah.
And it's a big race they do over on the Isle of Man. Unlike people are killed every year because they use the normal roads.
Wow.
Yeah, these guys are nuts. But
It's
yeah,
like
I've
rally
seen the
racing
series.
or something.
Yeah, but on motorcycles, where if you hit a wall, it's
I'll put a link up to that.
Yeah,
That was a really interesting
It's
show.
a good show. Yeah, I know you can get them on YouTube.
Yeah, I think I watched it on Netflix in Canada, so it's probably
I think it's on
around.
Netflix as well. Yeah, stuff like that. So, yeah, definitely. All right, well, you're putting that up. Let's talk about the Mosan model show. That's in Hungary. That's pretty well a staple on the European calendar now. So I've thrown in a couple of galleries from the show from various sites. Again, simply some absolutely amazing work. It just, my jaw drops when I see some of these. On average, they have over 1,000 kits on the table every year. They've been doing it for about 20 years, and just some absolutely stunning work for inspiration.
Yeah. Now you mentioned the how many entries were noted
between
for that
1,200
show?
and 1,400 entries.
Yeah,
in
that's
recent years.
amazing. I've
It's
never
a
seen
big
a show like that.
It is a huge staple on. It's like IPMS Nationals for Europe, basically.
Very cool.
It's a very much, and again, just some absolutely amazing things, and not just normal static displays. You look at some of these, and you just get blown away. So I've included two links. One's from eastmodels.sk, and they have each individual set plus a video, etc. And then the other one from our friends at the Modeling News. So definitely worth spending some time. Make yourself a cup of coffee or a drink and just have a look through some of these and be inspired. Don't be depressed. Be inspired because they're pretty.
Exactly.
They're pretty amazing. So
Yep.
So that's kind of cool. All right, and then moving on, we have the other thing that happened is Edouard. They've been talking about this for a while, and we've mentioned it. They are reissuing, or they're making a whole new tooling of the P51D in 1/48 scale. So
And that was the bare metal version, right?
that was the
did they
one of the
paint
more
them
common
too?
ones, the bubble canopy. And
Yeah.
it started as bare metal, and
Those
then
are
they
pretty cool.
then they went in. Or sorry, it started as an olive drab, and then
Okay.
they went bare metal. But it's a very, it's one fans of the Mustang have been waiting for a reissue. So they had some sprue shots there. Now, not everything was there yet. They say it's still a work in progress, and there's still some detailing to go. But from what was reading on the forums, people seem pretty happy so far. So and they did note the landing gear, the interior wasn't available yet, so just some of the initial stuff. But apparently, people are very impressed. Apparently, the molds, from what they figure, there's going to be a wide range of variants they're going to re-release based on the base mold.
Yeah. And there was lots of different versions of that one flying around, right?
Oh, yeah, there's all different P51D and all that. So that's going to be good. So apparently, Edouard's hoping to get it done for the 2019 IPMS Nationals, which is early August in Chattanooga, Tennessee. General availability will be expected in October. Again, it's a nice aircraft. I like it. I still prefer my Spitfire as my favorite, but the P51D is a very nice aircraft.
It's very iconic.
Very
right?
iconic. Exactly. So that one's a lot of people who build aircraft, particularly U.S. World War II, are waiting for.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
That'll be a really well done, well engineered kit too, I think, right? With all the goodies included.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we move on to our Gundam stuff and
Some Gundam goodness. And I know our friends, particularly Ian at the Scale Model Podcast, which is our colleagues in Australia, well worth a listen to. Mm-hmm.
I know Ian seems to not quite. I think he wants to get into Gundams. I think he's just a little bit confused.
This is your entry point, Ian.
This is your entry point. So Ian, you should definitely look into this.
So Hobby Link Japan has put together 2 Gundam beginner sets.
Okay.
The first set, I believe these are actually available now, and the first set was $50.29 Canadian.
That's very reasonable.
And you get actually it's a nice little kit if you are trying to get into it, or for people just starting out, you get a 1/44 scale RX-78-2 Gundam, just like the original Gundam.
That's the original Gundam. Yeah.
Now that'll be a nice kit. It's the Revive version, so I think it's been updated.
Okay.
And then you get a high grade Universal Century MSM07 Zagok, which is and it's in Shaw's colors. Mm-hmm. So that's a great classic.
Is it? Okay.
That's a classic design. One of the main sort of antagonist mobile suits, and sort of an amphibious attack mobile suit.
Okay.
And then they give you a little super deformed kit of cross silhouette Zeta. And then you get some tools to get going. So, they give you the Bondi Spirits entry nipper, blue colored, and a couple.
I'm really hoping those are just sprues, because
just sprue cutters.
I tell you what, I read that my 12-year-old brain came out and I smirked a bit.
Just the nippers, the sprue cut. I always call them side cutters.
Side cutters.
But I guess in different places they're called different things.
Right,
but you get a Gundam marker, like a black for panel lines.
Yeah, and those are quite good. I know people really recommend them.
I did try them at one point, but I do it all with
different
oils.
people, different ways. But I know people like it.
Yeah.
They don't want to mess with oils.
Sort of. But if a lot of people aren't really, they're not necessarily painting them as models. They're building them. And they're snap fit, so they're not gluing them. They're at a more sort of beginner level, right?
I also know when I built that other one I built, I was very impressed with the first one I ever built. I was very impressed.
That's an early 90s kit.
Yeah, that one was,
you're referring
and I've got another one in the stash. I was showing you the picture earlier. That's even older.
Yeah.
So at some point I'll have to pick up a newer one and see how far things have gone.
It's night and day. It's unbelievable.
Exactly.
If you want just to discover about how they do model kit engineering, they're a real work of wonder.
Well, and again, as we constantly remind people, Bandai sells these things like 10 to 1 over everyone else.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And then you get an action base too. So what is an action base for those?
The action base Bandai put out these specific bases to mount your Gundam model kits in, like a flying pose or that type of thing, right? Because a lot of these things they're sort of like a cross between armor and jets, right? Yeah. So a lot of the times people want to show them off in a flying pose. I do it with brass rod because I'm sort of an old school modeler that way, right?
He's a cranky old school modeler. He's trying to tell us here. Yeah.
No, I like everything.
Not at all.
But I sort of have ideas about models that
do your thing, but for someone getting into it,
but people love those things. They're very popular and they fit. They actually engineer the kits to sort of accept a
standard peg. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they have like a ball socket that's you build into your kit, so
you
sort of ready to go.
It whatever you want.
Yeah, and it won't fall over.
I remember once I think I was prepping for a show or we were out somewhere. I think we were out somewhere. I think we were at Hobby and Toy Central, a local hobby shop.
Yeah.
And we were going through, and I remember going past the Gundam things with my wife. Now my wife is a doll collector, and she saw one of these action bases, and she said, "Oh, it's like a base for dolls."
Right. Yes.
Similar idea.
Similar idea. Something's marketed for that as well.
So that's one set, and then there's also another set.
So they did another set with the RXO Unicorn Gundam, and in that kit.
This is a high grade kit.
Yeah, it's a 1:144 scale. It's 37.72 Canadian, and in that you just get the one model kit of the Unicorn in destroy mode, and then it came with the system base, which is like a different style.
Okay,
I think it was, and they're sort of like these sort of mechanical looking backgrounds.
Right,
like that you can mount it on, and they give you a little model of Haro, which is like the little sidekick robot for Amiral Ray in the first series.
Okay.
And then you get your Bondi Spirits nipper and a Gundam marker, fine tip, and so that one's a little bit more, just to give two different flavors.
Yeah, so that one's a slightly lower price, 37 Canadian, so that's not bad.
Ian, I don't know, maybe you're a unicorn kind of guy.
And maybe, and we expect, there's the challenge from the Canadians, we expect to see eventually one there, and I'm sorry to say you have to provide your own shuru if you want to avoid kangaroos. Now, as far as I know, I believe I've heard a rumor David's going to be bringing some back in December or in January when he comes over.
You think he'll have to check them in the
check luggage or whatever. Well, the Canadian Air Force doesn't want them; they don't need them, right? We have to have room for our moose detectors after all. Yeah, so that looks interesting as well.
Kind of an interesting way of, and those kits are put out by Hobbylink Japan. If I'm not sure to mention that, but just to get people kind of set up, and it's not a bad price.
Yeah, no,
you
it's
probably
not
get a
bad
bit
at
of a
all.
discount.
And I always say it's always worth try something new. Sometimes you'll be surprised. Sometimes you might like it. I try and do that as well. And like I said, I enjoyed putting that one together. I had what was that one again?
That
the
was
first one. Do you remember what it was called again?
From Victory Gundam.
Victory, yeah.
That was a great, really goofy name.
Goofy name, but it was a neat little build. I made it like a World War II German experimental
Heresy.
thing. Heresy?
Just kidding.
Heresy?
You can do whatever you like.
Heresy, yeah, I know. Well, I break the rules anyway. So
rule breaker.
Definitely worth trying. So
we'll think of the name on that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to...
We missed the big news
Did I miss something? What did I miss?
Big news in Gundam
I'm sorry.
right now.
I can't believe I missed that. I do apologize, sir.
Most exciting news. This definitely piqued my interest. There is a 1 to 1/4 scale, 4th scale, real grade new Gundam. Coming out in August. And the real grade series, I think there's been a handful. They've done the Gundam, they've done the Zeta Gundam, they've done the Unicorn, Shaz Zugok. They've put just a ton of detail to try and make it look more like a real machine.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
And they put like internal skeletons with like all kinds of mechanical features and pistons and joints, and lots of extra panel lines. I think they come with proper stencils instead of
a lot of moving
stickers.
Parts. I'm looking up this here.
Yeah, they just look fantastic. They've really paid attention to the good proportions that match up to the line detail. And the new Gundam is just an amazing design. That's Amuro Ray's Gundam mobile suit design from the 1988 film Shaw's Counterattack, which is a masterpiece. And it kind of wraps up the series.
So is that like a shield he's got? What does he have behind there? It looks like he's carrying a bunch of pipes.
Yeah, those things are sort of the binders on the back are called funnels.
Okay.
And what they are is basically remote weapons that pop off, and I think they sort of have like a propulsion system and then some kind of cannon.
Fin funnel, right? You mentioned that. Yeah. Beam rifle, fin funnel, a new hyper bazooka.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So a lot of weapons.
Yeah, the idea behind and there's another set called Bits, right? Where that in the context of the story, these people who have been like living so far away from Earth,
right,
in the colonies, they're starting to develop kind of like a sixth sense sort of, and they're called new types,
right?
And so some of these people get in their military, have these new type abilities, kind of have this sixth sense, if you will.
Yeah,
so they've started to build these mobile suits to kind of capture those, so they can remotely pilot these funnels and have sort of 6 of them running around at one time.
Right.
And Amuro Ray is one of these
The other
characters.
neat thing is about the link, and again, we'll have it in the show notes, is like the hobby link. You really see an example where they're showing the internals there.
Yeah, I love that blow up.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
I kind of saw that and I was like, I'm going to have to do that now.
That's very cool.
I've seen some really neat, I saw a great picture of an Abrams all blown up.
Well, and we've talked about that. In fact, had in fact, we were talking about, remember we talked about last week or the week before, we had
the clear parts.
The clear parts with the Tiger.
Yes.
Well, one of our listeners.
Yes.
Let me make sure I get the name right. Chris Marsden. He sent us some shots, and I put one up on our Facebook page.
Very cool.
Facebook.com/Scale Model Podcast, and showing some of the Rye field kits with the optional clear components. And he says are great. However, you quickly begin to realize you need to work out that everything is visible both inside and out, and therefore painting can be a challenge.
Yeah, very tricky.
I built and paint everything as sub-assembly and then assembled with PVA grew great fun. So we had a few. I put one of the pictures up. It's kind of cool, and
looks great too. Great job there.
Yeah, like some amazing work. So that was kind of cool. So thanks, Chris, for sending that to us. And again, it's on the Facebook page. You'll see it.
Yeah, have a look. It's very neat. It's a cool idea.
Yeah, and you see some of the details. You got like the photo etch grills. And stuff like that. It's pretty impressive.
It's a neat modeling concept. So,
I like the concept because that way you don't have the only other way you do it is like you say, you build it like a wedding cake.
The Abrams I saw was parts. An exploded view
part.
Up.
Yeah.
So it had mounted each piece on I think small wires, and then in the stock photo for the new Gundam, they have it kind of the other way, right? Like kind of side to side.
And I'm
all
sure
the pieces
people
of armor come off. Yeah.
And this is where I've said before, I'd like to see more aircraft doing that, like the one, the Hong Kong models 1/32 scale Lancaster.
Yeah, it comes with a plastic.
The first release, one side's clear.
Fuselage.
that would be nice, because again, you have all these sets sometimes, and you know,
they just get buried,
and you get buried. Yeah, exactly. It's a real shame. I know it'd be challenging for the aftermarket because you need the original mold to do that. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So unless you're the original manufacturer,
or is it a special? Is it just the plastic they change, or do they have to actually have a proper?
Well, I think you'd have to have
mold?
the mold, because you'd have to be. Well, you know what? You could probably get away with it, but you have to be able to make an accurate mold of the aircraft to cast it and clear it. Unless you've got the original mold.
Yeah, it'll never be.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It really takes the manufacturer.
Yeah.
So again, Rye offers it, and again, it makes sense because you got all this wonderful detail.
It's a neat option, I think, for manufacturers to include, right?
It's good to see the armor guys are doing it. We've seen it, like the ship guys, they'll just, like the subs, they'll just build one half.
Yeah.
Off, and that's
there
one
have been
thing.
Kits that have included.
Yeah, I've got this flying boat,
right?
the Sutherland flying boat from Airfix, and I've got a white ensign detail set. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take half of it off and just fully interior it, And I've seen that for, I believe it was the Trumpeter big 124 scale B-24.
Oh yeah, with a.
And they did, as for the demo, for the test shots, they left one half of the fuselage
That's
off
a neat idea too,
to
right?
show the interior, and that's what made me think about it.
That'd be a neat project. I think every modeler could enjoy. Like one time, you're going to do something like that.
Yeah, do it right. Because I said I spent a fortune on this white ensign set, and then you realize it's not going to be buried.
You won't see any.
Yeah, what was I thinking, right?
So that new Gundam there, I think I included a really neat article about the designer.
Okay.
That's in our sites and tips section.
Cool. Okay. Yep.
From Forbes.com, interviewing Yutaka Itsubuchi. Is my favorite mecha designer, and he's worked on a lot of different cool properties and lots of great Gundam designs. Okay. And I think that one was sort of regarded as the most sort of fan favorite Gundam. It's very cool. It's a great looking design, really mean looking.
Very cool.
And it's a fantastic film that it's part of.
Okay.
So yeah, exciting about that.
Some cool stuff in the Gundam world once again. Yeah. So yeah, definitely check it out. Ian, I look forward to hearing what you're going to build, pal.
Yeah.
That was Ian, first shot across the Pacific. Yeah,
Ian, you were talking there. You're going through in the last episode about the new Crusher Joe release, and he said, "Oh, it's a Gundam."
It's a Gundam. Yeah,
they're not related. They're just a different show. It's different. nothing to do with each other at all.
You have to educate the lad.
Yeah,
exactly. But that's fine. No, that's good. And as I said, definitely
it's a different world.
Definitely check out the lads there. So last but not least for this section, what's hot from our good friends at ScaleMates.com. Again, a lot of I see the M4 Sherman from Ming in 135th scales, top of the list now. Canadian Cruiser tank, the Ram. A lot of them are still the same old ones that have been here for a while. People are talking about. I'm just scrolling down here. Tamiya's got their Hummel, the assault gun 135th. It's an all new tool. The Achilles we talked about, the assault gun. So yeah, pretty well. Not a lot of movement I see there. Just a couple new things. The Edward Mustang, obviously.
Their popularity. Yeah.
The Hasegawa farm combine. We talked about last time or the episode before. You can use for a sci-fi.
Yeah. Or even just tractors are cool.
Tractors are cool,
right?
Nothing wrong with.
Now we live kind of, we around us is a lot of agricultural land. We see all kinds of great tractors when we sort of get outside town a little bit.
Mm-hmm. You see, I also see the weathering pencils. Deluxe edition box, 37 colors are up here. A lot of people talking about that. We're going to talk about those in a minute.
Yeah.
They actually didn't make enough of those complete blocks. They sold out within a day.
Wow.
You can't even get them over here right now.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, just apparently quite popular.
So I'm assuming you get the box that you get all 37 colors.
All 30 in a nice box. It's a nice. It's about the same. You're basically getting a very nice box for free to display them all.
Okay.
But it's it was what I was hoping to get, and I couldn't get it.
Yeah.
They sold out so quick.
And what's that going for? Do we have a price for the?
Yeah,
listeners?
So they vary. They're roughly €1 per pencil. I'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah.
We'll go into detail in a minute. So yeah, basically, a couple of new things. So again, lots of good stuff happening. Again, check out ScaleMates. Great place to find out information about kits, the history, and all that. Feel free to contribute. We love these guys. They're really good. I think they're out of Belgium, actually, if I recall. I have to get them on the show sometime. I've got to reach out to them. They're on my list to reach out to, so we'll try and do that. Okay. Let's talk about quickly what's new and what's happening at Goodman Models.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the place to get them is still Wheels and Wings. So we'll give a shout out to them, and they're doing a really wonderful Lancaster build. So
they are, yeah. You follow the Hong Kong models 32nd. They're going to hang it from their ceiling. And
Kyle's doing a wonderful job.
And he is.
So they're the place to get your Super Saiyan Block value packs and your singles. They have them all in stock right now, and they do mail order.
They do mail order, because I just did a mail order.
Yeah, that's right.
From them, and I was very pleased. We'll talk about that with the weathering pencils. The website, obviously, we're still working on.
Yeah,
we've made a little bit progress. A little bit more progress, slowly but sure. But soon you'll be able to order them there.
Yeah.
With a lot more information. Yeah. And we're also going to have. Also featured there will be some videos, and then also you're going to have a gallery with some of your kits.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff finished that doesn't exist anywhere.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, because the nice thing about that is then you can, as you're working on works in progress, you can put a link in under the works, and like what I do.
I'll try and share a bit more.
On my site. Yeah, so that's going to be good. So,
and I'm planning to have some really cool tip videos too, like different ways that you can really put the sanding blocks to use for your model projects and how they can help you, because sometimes some things are not obvious.
Yeah,
and then once you get onto a technique, you know
different ideas,
you can really
and
achieve
whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. You get them and you think you're only going to use them one way, and then you find creative ways to use them or whatever. You know, one of the things I do sometimes, if I've got a lot of material to take off, it's far easier to use that just because it's more stable.
Yes.
And even if I'm, sometimes if I don't have to be a perfectly flat, I can sit back and just put it in my hands.
Yeah, you can sort of ease the angle you want with a lot of control.
Yeah,
when
you have a lot of control.
Removing some plastic.
Yeah, and it's really works well. So well recommended. It's something I've been using for years. And I wouldn't recommend them unless I like them.
That's funny, because you did one of the
when I for my own personal channel.
Before I kind of knew you there.
Yeah,
you did one of the first reviews.
You were nice enough to send me a set, and they were great. They're absolutely fabulous. I still have that set.
We'll post that link back up.
We'll have to post it. Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel. We'll find the link and I'll post that up again.
Sure.
Great set. They're still in use, and especially now that you can get the singles. So eventually, if you wear something out, and you've had people already say that. I know at Heritage Con, you had a couple of people came by and they said, "This is great because I've used up one. I've pretty well worn out the one grit after quite a bit of use."
It sort of depends on how busy the modeler is. If you're building every night, you're gonna wear them out a bit sooner. But a lot of people, if you're sort of getting to it a couple times a week, or you model on the weekends, it should last quite a long time.
Well, the nice thing about them is you can clean them too, and stuff like that. But eventually, like anything, it goes. So it's nice to have that ability. For
now you can just get a replacement for one. You're not stuck buying the whole thing.
Yeah. So definitely check out the website goodmanmodels.com. That right now will have a link to the Facebook page.
Yep.
Where you can directly, but eventually you're going to be able to order them from there, and we'll have a lot more information on that. Yeah. And as usual, we thank you for your support.
Yes, my pleasure.
Okay, let's move on. So AK weathering pencils. You've heard me harp on about these for a while.
You're very excited about these, Stuart.
I'm very excited. I had a chance to try them at Heritage Con because AK was there, and Christoph Pulinsk, which again, his name I'll still slaughter. He'll laugh at me if he's listening to this. He had them there, and I had a chance to try them. So these are a wax-based... water-based, wax-based weathering pencils. Just like traditionally you use pencil crayons or a lead pencil to do chipping and
Prisma
stuff like
colors,
that.
sort of the brand models you're familiar with.
So they've come out with 37 different colors. They're about €1 each, direct from AK. Mm-hmm. They do have a pack. You can buy them individually, or you can buy them in a deluxe pack. However, the deluxe pack you cannot find right now for love nor money. They didn't make enough. They sold out real quick. You can buy. They have 8 packs of 5 pencils apiece, like theme packs. So obviously, there's 3 that are duplicated, right? That's fine. So I was fortunate enough, like I said, I played with them a little bit, so I was fortunate enough waiting for these things to come into North America. Our good friends at Wheels and Wings happened to have them first.
Awesome.
Awesome as always. So I ordered them. Now they had already sold out of 1 5-pack, unfortunately.
Wow.
So that's how popular they were.
Cool.
I think they're $8.95 or $8.25 for a pack of 5.
Okay, so not bad. So it's $1 and a bit.
$1 and a quarter. Yeah, so a little bit more again, considering the euro's $1.50.
Yeah.
So not bad at all. So I ordered those. Plus, I also ordered some Easy Line for rigging and stuff like that because they had it in stock. Placed the order. Now they don't have Wheels and Wings. They don't have a full-on e-commerce site yet, but they say on the site you can just Send them an email with what you want.
And they'll
send you a PayPal invoice. Yeah. So I had this. I ordered it on Tuesday. It arrived at the house Friday.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, Tuesday late I ordered it, so it was really Wednesday. Okay. So it came down very quickly as always, well packed. The other neat thing is you get, they send you their business card. They also do an airbrush shop there for airbrush repairs, so they had a separate business card. And they sent me a little sander, a little flexible sander.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was nice. I don't know if they do that for everyone, but it was kind of neat. One of their own house flexible sanders. So it was
that's an awesome shop. Yeah. That's got to be maybe our region sort of premier
it's
hobby shop.
It's a pretty big hobby shop. Yeah, it's huge. They have a lot of stuff. Yeah. There. So I always enjoy going down there. It's a good thing they're so far away because it would be dangerous otherwise. So yeah.
I have to get in there for a demo sometime.
Yeah, you actually do because again, they, as you know, they've absolutely loved selling the sanding blocks.
Yeah, they've been a huge supporter.
And they're good supporters. They sponsor shows, stuff like that. So
and I did a super sanding block demo down in Buffalo, New York at Section 8, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, I would love hanging out at the hobby shop.
Nice to meet, and always good to meet the people. So I got these in. I really had a ton of time to play with them. I found some very old kits I had. So one of the paint mules I found was my very first model kit.
Really?
Was like one of my the Spitfire. No, the Spitfire. I'm British. Everyone starts with a Spitfire. 72nd scale. The old blue. This thing's probably 40 years old. So I actually found that.
Wow.
It was actually in pretty good shape, minus the tail wing.
Right on.
Minus the tail. So I found that. And then, I have this M113. I have a couple of 135th modern stuff that I think at one of our club meetings, someone just said I don't need them anymore or at the show or something.
Okay.
So I use them as paint mules. So I played with them, around with them, and then I also did, so I started with a flat coat, and then some people, including David, down at the, on the bench, said, have you tried a gloss coat? So I did read a lot of other people's reviews in 8Ks. Apparently, they don't recommend gloss as much, and I definitely confirmed that.
Yeah. You have to be really, really gentle and then try and fix it somehow.
Right away. You want to use these on a flat coat, but what's really neat is, particularly, I played more with the wet. I can see what I can do with dry. It's amazing what I can do with dry. You can sharpen them. But in terms of wet application, so if we look at, again, I have some of these posted on the Facebook page, some shots where I would just, basically, rub in some stuff from the pencil and then and they say a slightly damp brush and they mean it. A slightly damp.
So dry it out quite well.
And then start to streak, and it's pretty impressive. it's you get the effect you want. So the main thing I found with it, and one of the things I've said before is I'm still learning weathering. Compared to some people out there, it's still fairly new for armor and that.
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed with what I was able to do. You do end up, you think you've put too much on, and then you put a little bit of water through it, just slightly dampen it down to make the streaking, and it comes out really nice.
Oh yeah.
So like any new technique, and we were talking about pre-show about you use oils and that, it will take some time to master.
Yeah, every technique you got to spend some time. It's not like guaranteed automatic results. You got to play with that material or idea a few times.
Right. But I was pretty impressed about what's there now. Would I tell most people to get the entire set for the price point? Why not? If you think you're going to use it. But if you're not sure, just get a 5-pack of the Rust set or something like that. And you can't go wrong. They have a Rust and Streaking Effect set, which has 3 colors of rust and an ochre and an orange. And that's what I used on that 113. It's the second set of shots I did there. It's really tough to take a photo of it. That's the problem. Yeah. The original one I did. And then further on in my comments, I added some more comments, with some more photos further below. Mm-hmm. And if you zoom those up, you'll get a better idea. I was pretty impressed in the end of what it does and the effects you can do. Now, can you get the same effect with other ways? Sure you can. But some people will prefer doing these. Some people prefer the...
Did you find it fairly easy to kind of get it looking to where you wanted it?
I did. Towards the end, I was getting very comfortable. It's just a matter of dialing in with how much damp you need on the brush,
right,
and your techniques for that. And I'm still learning that with oils.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty impressed. On a flat surface, I was very impressed on how easy it was to do it. Like I said, definitely the first couple of times you do it, you'll end up almost washing all of it away.
Yeah,
because you'll go too light. You think you don't need that much.
Well, it's good to build up things in very light layers,
practice.
Build it up very slowly. Yeah. Learn kind of when to stop.
But the quality's good. They come well packaged. I definitely recommend everyone at least try them. It's a new technique. Again, people have been using Prism colors for a while. These are much more waxy and softer than the Prism colors, the Prismacolor pencil crayons.
Yeah.
So they're different. It's not like lead. It's like a wax. So it's definitely different. So like if you really rub them, you'll see flecks of wax coming off.
Ah.
Okay. So it's a softer material.
Down.
Yeah. So you'll see. But again, you can sharpen it. There's quite a few videos. AK's got a very good instructional video. Other people have reviewed them as well. So I think it's another arrow in the quiver, or another tool in the toolbox.
Sure. Yeah. I'm interested in getting.
Yeah.
I was doing like on my Malaysian IFE.
Yeah.
To do the stack is really rusty, like, and I think it's very common on M113s.
Yeah.
And I did it with the pastels, like the artist pastels, grind it up actually on a super sanding block, and then kind of getting it to. And I had a hard time getting it to stick.
And that's kind of a similar thing where with this thing, I think it would stick a bit better.
Yeah.
Because you can literally you've got the control and it stays on.
You draw it
so
on.
It's not a powder.
Yeah.
Right, which I think varies the difference.
Yeah, so I had a time, I got the result I wanted, but I think I might have spent like a whole evening or like an hour playing with it.
I'll have to bring over the rust set for you. You can play around with it.
Yeah.
Because I was also thinking they had the black and white detail set, and I was thinking for that. Because of the white, you have like an off-white and, so for some dirt or whatever. So
yeah, you don't want to go too heavy or too white finishes.
The other thing and as I said in the posting, I did some really bright colors to try and show for the photos. So, your mileage may vary.
Exaggerate a little bit.
For my first attempt, it's not bad. Obviously, if you go to the AK site, they've used it a bit longer, so they got some different things.
Yeah, they've mastered kind of what you can do with it, right?
They've had time to play with it a bit more, but definitely, I would say check it out. So check those out. They are starting to appear in North America. I'm not sure about the rest of the world. Maybe our lads down there can tell us in Australia when they appear down there. They are in Europe, obviously.
I think it's been mentioned on the bench by the boys. And
they've talked about it. Yeah, I don't know if it's there yet.
Have they had a chance to?
Yeah, because David, David and I were corresponding via Facebook, and he was very curious.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see.
We hope you guys get a set to try
hopefully
out.
you guys get a set as well. Give it a whirl. So definitely check those out. Okay, speaking of what's on the bench, what's on our benches? My Galactica, my Battlestar Pegasus, haven't had a ton of time to work on it, but I did get the decals on the flight pods on. As usual, the Mobius decals are very good. The secret with Mobius decals, warm water. You do warmer water.
That's the secret with all decals, isn't it?
I know, but these ones in particular.
Yeah.
They're really, the difference, if you put them in colder water. So what I do is I have a little glass bowl.
Yeah.
I put water. I tend to use distilled. I don't know if it makes a difference or not, but that's me.
Sometimes there's like crud in the water.
That's
like
me. Our water's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Right? We have good Canadian water.
I think we have good water. I just think that when you're on the bench and you're in like a
dusty...
dust settles in your little pot of water, and then you're fighting with that.
I always change it.
Yeah.
So I use a coffee cup warmer to warm it up.
Oh, that's a great idea,
Yeah, so that's a great thing to keep it warm. Now, this one I got is a cheap one, so I can't let it go where it gets too hot. But I really found, like, the first decal I put in, the water was kind of lukewarm, and it probably took 3 or 4 minutes to set up, to get ready to loosen to put on.
Yeah.
Well, if I put it in really warm water, it's less than a minute.
Oh, interesting.
And they sit down well, and they work well. So I've got most of the decals on there. Mm-hmm. Each flight pod has 4 decals, and there's 4 flight pods. Yeah, that's right. So 16 in all. So, and they take a while. Some in some funny areas. So, hoping to get the rest of those done the next couple of days. And then I'll get her all together. As I said, she's a big ship.
That's awesome. Do you have plans for kind of like some weathering at the end?
Going to do some weathering like I did with Galactica. Yep. So I put the base Tamiya on, and then I use some either some inks or some washes to do that. I maybe come up with some ideas with the weathering pencils.
Yeah.
The engine areas and that. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm working on there. So how about you?
Very cool. Well, I've been been busy with schoolwork, but I've been still trying to do some stuff. I actually had my good buddy Murray Press from the club come
Murray,
in.
I know Murray.
Help me do some. Yeah, he's in your club, I guess. I haven't been to that club in a long time.
Yeah, but that's fine. You've been busy. You have far more important things to do on a Wednesday night.
I've been going to the Amps Club recently.
Yeah, that's right.
But Murray came, and he is a electronics guru, so he helped me figure out some wiring for the Aliens APC.
Awesome.
So, because I did not know what I was doing, and he helped me work out
and
some
we didn't really want a catching fire. That wouldn't be good.
Exploding model.
Yeah. Only happens, only works once, so... So you're working away on that. So we'll have to see some pictures there eventually.
Yeah, I'll pull some more up because now I have I had to come up with a plan and do some calculations for the resistors.
So what sort of lighting are you doing?
Well, of course I want to light everything up.
Right.
And so it's got headlights, it's got a spotlight. It's got tail lights.
Excellent.
It has side markers, which I'm not sure how I'm going to do, and it may not.
Okay.
And then I want to have the red light in the cockpit.
Right.
Because a lot of those vehicle designs were supposed to be reminiscent of like Vietnam era U.S. machinery.
Yep.
And that was what James Cameron kind of had that aesthetic in his mind.
Exactly.
So I was just thinking of those kind of red light.
Cool.
I don't know the technical terms for it, but when there was like a low light, it was always a red.
Yeah, it was designed for night vision.
Yeah,
yeah.
But like in like a Huey
cockpit,
or something like that
in the cockpit, so they wouldn't get blinded. They could see out in the dark because the red light. Yeah,
yeah. So I want to do that on the inside.
That'll be cool.
Where there's a pilot,
right?
And the pilot is from the old the Dragon kit of the U.S. helicopter NAM series pilots, which I've held on to that kit for like 30 years.
Awesome. So there you go. It's always a use for something.
Yeah. So just figuring out all the wiring in there. I kind of haven't really done any other modeling just because I've been trying to figure out how is this going to be put together and where is it going to go through. And
well, I know you were really looking forward to when you got that. So that was kind of cool. Any other work on your other one?
I did get back to my my Malaysian IFE. I kind of benched it. I got frustrated. I lost a couple parts.
You lost your mojo,
Yeah, I lost the mojo, and I lost parts, too. I think I vacuumed them up.
The vacuum monster.
I bought these amazing...
the carpet monster.
Yeah, the carpet monster's bad here. But I had bought these little taillight sets from SKP Model.
Yes, remember we talked about that. Yeah, we talked about it.
They're basically M113 headlights, and it was a plate and then some lenses.
Right.
And I went back, and I was kind of had a hard time with them. And, it's the first time, so you have to sort of figure out, well, you're going to put the lenses in first or after or what. Anyway, so I was having a hard time. I set it aside. I started the APC. I was busy. And I said, all right, I got to get back to this thing. So I look around. I'm going to tackle it. I can only find one of the plate pieces. I'm like, I've cleaned it here.
Are you sure Mr. Sparkles, the official podcast cat isn't made off with one of his?
They're
builds?
Not really into eating model parts.
No, but maybe he's got a build on the go he needed it for, right?
Yeah, but occasionally they eat stuff or
that's fine.
He loves the whip antennas or what.
Oh, does he?
Can't leave that around because he'll get
We could do a whole show probably on pets and models. For the most part, mine are pretty well trained. And again, we have the picture of him last week. He was beside that one Gundam and he was behaving himself. So so that's what you're working on.
Yep.
All right, we're almost done here. Sites and tips. We already talked about the Forbes article. You did put the link on for Guy Martin, the last flight of the Vulcan bomber. I wanted to mention this one here, the F1 modeling website. This actually came from of course, I've closed the tab, but the webmaster of IPMS USA. So he's nice enough. They put our link up every time I post a new one. I send it down there, and they're nice enough to share it. Well, he also runs an F1 modeling site. Eric, I think his name is. Forgive me if I'm missing that. I'll have to try and find it. This is a great little discussion board. These are all guys who are really into the Formula One racing stuff. Yeah. There's some amazing stuff here. So if you're building F1 kits, definitely add this to your bookmark.
Wonderful.
A lot of good discussion stuff about that. So
awesome.
Very, very cool stuff. So definitely worth checking. Have you built any F1 kits while I'm looking through here? I built one. Yeah, I built a Ferrari. The Tamiya, and did I sell the Renault? I may have sold the Renault. Because Tamiya made them in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, and they had some amazing stuff. Very, 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 very cool stuff. So again, I wanted to do a shout out to the gang at IPMS USA. They're nice enough to again feature us when we post an episode. I send it down to them, and I share it to the page, and they happily approve it every time. So I always appreciate that. And forgive me, I'm just, as we speak, I'm kind of stalling while I'm trying to find his name in all the different ways we here we go. It is Eric. Eric at Talia. I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering that. He's the webmaster at IPMSA.org.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing, guys.
Yeah, and they also added us to the podcast feed section under the IPMS site and in the SF1 site, which is his site as well. So many thanks for that. I meant to actually do that a month or so ago, and I've just been, neglecting it, and I've been a bad person there. So
they are very neat machines, right? Like
they are, and some of the details in that are just amazing. And again, there's a whole community behind auto stuff. There's a site in the UK called Hero Boy.
Yep.
And if you're into cars for the aftermarket stuff, like you can get
that's all
photo etch carbon fiber brakes.
Yeah, and, that's super cool. Eh?
Yeah, again, fully. It's just like how our good friend Ed has the barrel store.
Yeah.
For armor, same idea except for car guys.
Cool. Oh yeah,
I'm a lot of aftermarket stuff, very popular in Europe. So
I'm sure it started with car modeling, I bet.
Oh, probably.
Like that idea.
But these guys
stuff,
for the F1, the rally cars, again, just
rally car racing is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely amazing community. Okay, so that's it for this time. So, do we have any other things we need to touch on for episode 19?
So,
I think we're good. So
a lot of goodness in there today.
Exactly. So as always, don't forget to subscribe. Let us know. Send us an email at scalemodelpodcast@gmail.com. We do. Available where you find your finer podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. Again, we have our Facebook page at facebook.com/scalemodelpodcast. I also want to point out our Patreon page.
Yes, that's right. We have a new Patreon subscriber.
We have a new supporter, Stefan Orsi, ORSI. My apologies, Stefano, if I slaughtered that name. We really appreciate your support.
Yeah, you're number one.
Number one, first one.
Thank you.
One of the things you get to see is we did the video from an interview we did at Heritage Con Hamilton with Christoph from AK. So it was a fairly good interview. Patreon subscribers get a 2 weeks heads up on that. So that's been out. Hopefully he's enjoyed that, and then we'll eventually release it for the general thing. And that's what the thing we're generally going to do right now with the Patreon things. The additional bonus content we're going to make available as a thank you for their support, for thanking us with web hosting costs and stuff like that. We're going to make those available to those subscribers first. So once again, I appreciate that. Patreon.com/scalemodelpodcast. And then we also do some other content on the YouTube channel. So again, there's always some interesting stuff there. We should do another shout out to WMD, and I did an interview with them. They did those really cool bases.
Yeah, it's a very neat
they're very nice.
Sort of ready-made
different things. So they're really nice because every time again we post a new episode or whatever, they're always pretty good. They're pretty quick on. They'll
thanks for sharing the stuff.
They'll share it and all that. So they got some really cool new ideas. He's been playing around with some more different bases.
Yeah.
So he's got a base and it's got the RAF logo with a round.
Yeah, they're very nice looking. I do enjoy that kind of display.
Exactly. So definitely a reach out to there. Check them out as well, and a shout out to them. So, all right. So that's it for this week. I don't know where Mr. Sparkles, our cat, the mascot, he's probably taking a nap somewhere.
Yep.
So that's it for this week. So my name is Stuart Clark.
This is Anthony Goodman.
Thank you, and be well.